And we are officially calling, I am officially calling the meeting to order. And we do have a quorum. I do believe Joe Knox is out of the country on vacation. And I think it's vacation. And so we will be sadly missing him, but we will get back to him. The Zoom user has their hand up. Do they want to be spoken? They want to be acknowledged because their hand is raised?
That's David.
Okay, David, thank you.
But I can't get in. I don't have a screen.
Oh, well, we hear you.
Yeah, you're hearing me on Jeans, which is right next to me.
So that's fine, but if you put your hand or raise your hand, then I can acknowledge you, throughout the meeting. If that works for you.
Real tired.
Because she won't be with us for a while. Okay, I'm going to continue. Just a reminder, of course, that the open meeting rules and regulations apply to our meeting. There's David. There's a picture of him. He switched back. Look at that. You're getting good at this, David.
No, it's Jean.
I know, but it's your picture. So you're fine.
No, I'm not fine.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm trying to make you feel fine anyway. Sorry. Okay. Well, moving on. I do have an announcement, and that is the announcement. It's about the fact that Hazel Plummer, to answer your question, Marilyn, that you asked just as we were opening the meeting. Hazel turned 114 years old on June 19th. And the select board have put together a citation for her, and it was given to the Council on Aging to make arrangements to get it to her. And so we have done that. And the arrangements, I called and talked to the administrator of Littleton Life Care. And she notified the family, and the family wished to be present. So we are getting together there this Thursday at 1 p.m. And I welcome any members from the board that can be present to acknowledge Hazel's 14th birthday. She is the 5th oldest person in the country, in the United States, if I have my information accurate. Correct me if I'm wrong. And she is, of course, the oldest person in Massachusetts. So it's quite.
I remember her 100th birthday party.
Right. Yep. It doesn't seem like it was 14 years ago, quite frankly.
No, it doesn't.
No. So, yep, it's amazing. So, people are welcome to just show up there at 1 o'clock, and I hope people will come, please. All right. Any other announcements from board members? Nope. Things have been quiet. I think we can tell it's July, and June and July, and summer is here. And that's a good thing. So then we'll go on to the minutes of our last meeting. Do we have any corrections? I have a couple of small items I would like to mention, but I'll open it up to the board. Any corrections, changes for the minutes? Don't see anybody's hand raised. So I just found a couple of very small things that I didn't catch until I read them a second time. And I'll make the changes. But the first one is on the third page under board vacancies. The third line reads, the select board has us on the agenda for tonight to discuss the terms. Well, it really isn't the terms. It was to discuss the COA board's recommendations regarding the applicants that had applied to fill our positions. So I think that's one small change. And then this last one was to change on page 4 under C, the second to last sentence. There's a statement that says Marge will be in touch with the applicants, and we just need to cross that out. I was obviously in touch with them. I I might have said that, I'm not sure, but anyway. And then it's followed by the applicants are invited to attend the select board this evening, and that's how it worked, and that's what was involved. They're just minor things. Any other changes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes of June 13th.
As amended or as
All right.
corrected.
As amended, thank you. And Marilyn, was that a second?
Yes, with
Okay.
the adding the as amended.
As amended, yep, thank you. All right, so we're gonna start with Lorelei. Yeah, thank you. Anita,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Ann Lee, oops, and Ann Lee is here but muted. I'll come back to her. Marilyn, you already,
Yes,
yes, okay. David,
Yes,
there's Ann Lee. Marge is a yes. And Ann Lee, are you voting yes about the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Ann Lee's, all right. Thank you. Okay.
wait a minute, did you get Jean?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see Jean today. She's early. I wasn't expecting her to be early. I have to be more vigilant here. Jean, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yes.
All right, great. No wonder you were stressed out over getting both of you set up here, David.
Yeah, we can't make this thing work. Have to work on it.
Oh, well, where there's a will, there's a way, they say. And I'm no help at all with anything like that. So sorry to say. All right. Thank you, Val, about the minutes. All right. Is Holly with us? I wasn't clear on whether or not she said they were not meeting and they were taking the summer off. I did not know whether or not that meant that she wasn't coming to our meetings either, or no one was coming. And Liz, do we have anyone from the Friends with us?
No.
Okay, then I guess we will have to put the Friends report on hold, postpone it until August or when they end present next time. All right, so we can move on to the director's report and the outreach coordinator's report, or the assistant director's report. Yes, Liz.
Just a, I guess, procedural question. So I did have a new funding request for the Friends. I could send it off to Holly, or did you want me to bring it up here?
I think, I personally think, and we can talk to the board about this, but in my mind, it's good because it gets out and everybody knows what's going on. It gets out to the public when we are making requests to the Friends, and there's no secrets, so to speak. So that's my feeling about it. Other board members, do you wish to comment on that? I was going to bring that up toward the end of the meeting, but we can bring it up as part of your report every month too, Liz. So I just think it would be, the board can only recommend and support the director and make the recommendation to the director that she proceed to submit that request to the Friends.
I agree.
Okay. How about the rest of you? How do you feel about that?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree too. The only thing would be if it's the middle of the month and Liz needs to make a request
Right.
that she could, if she wanted to, she could say, March, I need this request. So you are aware of it, or otherwise she has the authority to go directly to the Friends. If something comes up as an emergency in the middle of the month.
Right, if it's just, well, and that is in the MOU, which we're gonna be talking
Yes.
about today too. It's at the bottom of page 2, that
Right.
an emergency situation, yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
So, but as a rule of thumb, and I think it's good, it's advantageous for the Friends because people see what they're doing too.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Yes, Liz.
Okay.
We got that straightened out.
All right, great. I'll just fold it right into my
Your
director's
report,
then.
okay.
Yeah. And since we're talking about it, I'll start with that now. So this is a relatively small funding request that I'm going to be respectfully asking of the friends. So we have this wonderful program collaboration with the Reuben Hoare Library. It's called Book and a Bite, and it's for homebound seniors in town who can't get out to the library, still want to participate in, what the library has to offer, but more than just having a book dropped off, the volunteer drops off a snack as well. So they get a friendly face, they get their new book, and they get a little treat, and it's a whole nice conversation experience. It's not just having your book dropped off. So at the beginning of this program, I had written a letter to Market Basket, and they funded the first portion of this program so that we could purchase the snacks or the bite portion of the program. And that is running low since we have, I believe, 6 active participants in this program. So I'm making a request to the friends for a gift card to either Market Basket or Donnellan's or a grocery store close by for an amount between $50 and $100, whatever they see fit, so we can continue the program while I look for a new sponsor to take on the next quarter. So that is Book and a Bite. Questions about that?
I don't have a question. I just think it's great that it's been well received so far.
Yeah,
Really?
it was a slow start, but it's getting, it's building up.
Yeah.
And
Jean had her
Yeah.
hand raised.
I just wanted to say that watching it firsthand from the library, they love it. The patrons call in and they're getting their request, and it's a great program, and it's growing. Unfortunately, it's growing, Liz.
I know. And since the library, they provide the volunteer and the volunteer's time in driving to, the gas mileage driving to their homes. I thought it was only fair that we provide or sponsor the bite portion for at least this, beginning chunk of time.
It speaks, volumes, in my opinion, about the social piece of that the whole program. It really does, because I'm sure that's what it is. It's, for people that are shut in, it is such a communication, system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a great, great idea. I'm sure it's going to flourish. So kudos to the library.
I especially love when somebody calls and they only know a portion of the book name or title or just the author's last name. And then I send an email over to Amy, I think Totten, is it? Saying, I think the book is something to do with birds. Okay, moving on to statistics. I'm going to share my screen real quick. And I'm going to go over to our annual statistics, and let me know if you're able to see that.
Yes.
Okay. So June, we've seen our highest number for transportation since the pandemic, really. 143 rides were provided in the 30 days in June. So that's really exciting to see that that's building back up. And good news is we just had an interview for a 4th van driver position. A gentleman came in for that interview, and it'll be nice to be able to keep expanding our offerings. We're right now offering 1 van a day, Monday through Friday. If you remember pre-pandemic, we were running 2 vans a day, Monday through Friday, and they were both usually booked solid the entire day. So it's really nice to see that building back up. Everything else is holding pretty steady. Senior tax work-off program signups started last week. So they began on the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And within those 3 days for last week's holiday week, we had 70 signups.
Oh, wow.
We had
Wow.
60, yeah. We had 65 returning people re-enroll. We had 5 brand new residents enroll in the program. And there's still 26 people who participated last year who haven't re-enrolled, but I have a good feeling that they will be. So I'm keeping them on the list, and we'll be contacting them to remind them to sign up again. And that almost puts us at the 100 cap number. So we have the ability to do a wait list and do rolling admissions until we reach that 100 number cap. So this is very exciting. It went relatively smooth. For the first time, we did online re-enrollment for people who had participated last year. And that's where we got a majority of our re-enrollments. So that was nice. Save people the trip from coming into the office. Just an update on the second outreach coordinator position that we're hiring for. I think I mentioned last time that we had 57 candidates apply for the job. From there, we were able to narrow it down to 14 really strong resumes where every one of those people had great skill set and could probably do the job. So we went through those 14 resumes as a team and we put them in, we basically ordered them and then narrowed that down from there to 7 candidates, invited them all in for interviews. 2 people did not respond to the interview requests. 5 people came in for interviews, and we have narrowed it down to 1 clear finalist who I would love to be offering the position to. I don't think we need to have a second round of interviews where we have such a clear finalist for the position, but this one individual was everyone on the interview panel's first choice. So that will be happening.
That's exciting.
Really
It is
exciting.
Yes.
Now all you have to do is find a place for that person.
Yeah, I have this chair back here. Yeah, we'll find a spot somewhere.
Get that senior center built faster.
Oh, I know. I know.
That'll be good. That will help Amy though.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Exciting, very exciting.
Yeah. Okay, last thing on my list is our crisis intervention team that we're doing with the police department, fire department, and building commissioner. Also looped in last meeting the Nicole might have to help me on the name of this Council of Churches
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
chairperson.
Yes.
Yeah, just to bring them into the loop on what we're doing and talk about funding sources for emergency and crisis situations. We finalized the program that we're calling the Littleton Safe Return Program for people with dementia or history of wandering away from their home. So we finalized that form, which an individual or family member will fill out and attach a photo, and that will live at the police department. So if there was a situation where your loved one wandered away from home, we'd have the information immediately, what they look like, names they respond to, places they've known to frequent, all the questions you might be asking, but you'll have that in advance. So that is going to go out in the LELWD bills in August, and they are so nicely printing them for us and mailing them out townwide. Yeah, so that's exciting. So we're also going to get that form up online. So if you see the information in the electric, light, and water bills, you can also go online and fill out the form. It's not up yet, but we're going to have it ready to launch in August. And that's everything on my list for the director's report.
Wow. Never a
Awesome.
dull minute, even in the summer. Things are still happening.
It's been busier than ever this week.
Right, right. Great. Any questions for Liz on that? That's really all very exciting news. So. Okay. Nicole, I think you're on.
Come on. So I'm going to attempt to fill in for Amy. I wanted to mention that the farmers market coupons should be here mid to late July. For people who aren't familiar with the program, this is a program sponsored by the Department of Agriculture. We get a certain amount of farmers market coupon books from Minuteman Senior Services. So these are available to seniors in town who are income eligible. So if you're not sure if you're eligible and you want to find out, you can give us a call. And then you can come in. It's a real quick form to fill out to get your coupon book. And if you also have SNAP benefits, then that adds, I think it's dollar for dollar to the farmers market coupons. So it's a really great way for people to shop locally and get some nice fresh produce. And I wanted to just go over quickly, we have a lot going on this summer. Our latest newsletter was July and August combined. This Wednesday, we have pizza and a movie. We have a lunch and learn with Badger Funeral Home on the 27th. And we had this program, I think about 6 months ago, and it was so well received. They do such a beautiful job. So I think there's still a few slots left in that if people are interested. And also coming up this fall, we have Brains and Balance is coming back. And we also have RAD, Self-Defense for Seniors, coming up in September, which is Officer Abu from the Littleton Police Department is going to be doing that program. So we're really excited. So if you haven't checked out our newsletter, we've got a lot going on. Hopefully people can sign up.
Nicole, I just would like to make a comment. I heard that, I did not attend the last Badgers event. I think it was in December, but I heard wonderful things about it.
Yeah.
And I also heard that they did not cover writing your own obit at that session, but they are covering it this time.
Yes.
So I don't know whether or not, that might be an additional draw for people too. I think that's fascinating. And as I understand it, there are different ways of doing that. So and they really educate people.
Yes, they do a really, really nice job.
Yeah.
And I'll make a comment about the RAD program. I took that several years ago, and it's a wonderful program. So anybody who lives alone or is out traveling a lot in the car alone, they ought to attend it because they show you how to protect yourself in a parking lot, in a store, or if you go up to an ATM or something. They're very good about explaining what you need to watch for when you're out by yourself. Very good program. Very good program.
I think last time I checked, we had 12 or 13 people already signed up for that. So space is getting limited. So people should call and sign up.
Things are hopping, it seems. So even though it's summer. I keep saying that. Usually everybody just shuts down, but kind of thing. So that's great. Any other questions for Liz or Nicole? If not, I'll entertain a motion from someone to accept the director's report and the outreach coordinator's report.
So moved.
Thank you, David. Do we have
I'll second.
who seconded that? Sorry, I missed it. Who seconded?
I
I
did.
know.
Emily.
And I did. We both did it together. So take
Oh.
whoever. the
Okay,
other person was.
Anita, okay. All right, and David, okay. So, let's start with Lorelei. Lorelei,
Yes.
thank you. Anita,
Yes.
thank you. Susan,
Yes.
thank you. Ann Lee,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
thank you. David,
Yes.
and Marge is a yes, unanimous. Thank you. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I kind of like having the reports at this point on our agenda because I personally don't feel like we're rushing through all of it and we have time to talk and to discuss things because when we put it off to the end, it was hard to feel that we had adequate time. So I'm going to leave it there unless the board members have other ideas and suggestions. So we'll leave it, the reports on the agenda earlier in the meeting.
I think it works well. I think it works well there.
I
Thank
do
you.
too. I like it there.
I do too. So thank you. I mean, there's so much going on and we want to know and we need to know as a board, we need to know what's going on. So this is the only time really, it's, we can stop by and visit with Liz, but the entire board doesn't get all those pieces of information sometimes that occur. So, okay. So we're up to old business and I understand there's a little bit of movement now that we're into July and a new fiscal year and we have money. I'm hearing, I think, that a little bit's happening with our senior center project. What's happening, Liz?
We're moving right along. So right now we met with the architect team, and we have some new select board liaisons on the team as well. So Gary and Mark Raumbacher have joined in on the meetings with the architects and the OPM. I will share an image of what we're on now. So are you able to see the building?
Yes.
Yeah,
So the look is evolving just a little bit as we go along, and we're down to the nitty gritty now, where we are discussing things like, are we going to keep this turnaround here in the beginning, or is it more useful to just have parking right here? So we're getting another look at this with just straight across parking or a dedicated drop-off zone. Part of what we're doing now is scheduling meetings with all the department heads that would be involved in the creation of this building. So police and fire and DPW for things like plowing, the sustainability committee to talk about solar panels and what we would like to do in regards to that. We are also going through the inside of the building and looking at all the different aspects. So we've widened some of the bathrooms, and we're discussing door width and whether or not we're going to have windows that open or are just strictly glass in different rooms of the building. So things are moving along. I think it looks absolutely beautiful so far. The latest design has this new that's the word I'm looking for.
Pergola.
Facing shadow.
Pergola?
Pergola.
Yeah.
Pergola. So very, very exciting, and we're moving along, and PMBC is fully involved and helping us get the OP or the CM at risk involved.
yeah, okay.
And I will send this slideshow out to the board to review. It's definitely going to be changing quite a bit because we're seeing what it would look like without this turnaround driveway. And this has pretty much remained the same from the last time you might have seen it. This is the second floor layout, and this is the main floor layout. Major change in this area is where we added a gender neutral bathroom that's handicap accessible for people to go in with a loved one if they needed to assist someone who has some disabilities. And we are probably going to be swapping some storage spaces and creating more storage spaces. Any questions?
Do we know when we're going to be ready to go before planning board?
That is a good question. Let me see if I have that info up. 1 second. It looks like on our timeline, the next things are the cost estimates and the value engineering straight through until October.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we're moving. That's progress. We were kind of at a standstill after the town meeting. Yes, Marilyn?
If you do the turnaround, does that take away any of the parking spaces? Would it make less parking spaces with a turnaround or less without it? Or
I
more
think
with-
we would, by taking it away, we'd be able to add more parking spaces.
Okay. Hopefully we need more parking places.
Also, part of the concern also was the curb that goes around where the turnaround is. And would that be difficult for plows, 1, and 2, for people driving in and trying to maneuver around? Would they be hitting those curbs? So we're going to see what it looks like without it and see how many parking spaces we can
Right.
gain.
Well, obviously you have to accommodate emergency vehicles also. So,
Yep.
Yeah. I guess that's why you got all those other people joining the team now. So, yeah, makes sense. Okay, any other questions? Well, that's exciting. I mean, has anything happened, do you know, Liz, as far as purchasing the property next to the tennis courts? Is that
I-
starting?
I want to say that's almost complete.
Oh, good, okay. So, because that has to happen too before they can, yeah. All right. So I think we're ready to move on, unless we have more questions for Liz on that. And the next item is on the MOU and the draft of the MOU, so we still stay with Liz. She's busy today.
She's always busy.
Oh, yes, she is, that's for sure. All right. So. This is a revised edition, print. I sent it out to you of the MOU after our meeting in June. So, comments from board members. All right, Susan, and then David.
In the second paragraph, the one that's labeled roles.
Yep.
Can't read today. That first sentence, the Council on Aging Board is a local government entity appointed by the Select Board and exists for the benefit, instead of saying of its seniors, because I didn't know who its was, for the benefit of Littleton's seniors.
Yeah.
That's just a suggestion. That's my only one for the whole thing. The rest of it I loved. Well, I like that too, but
Nice.
I like Littleton better.
Yeah, I do too. Good point. That's a good point. Good catch, Susan. David.
Okay, my concern, is in the first paragraph, purpose, the last sentence. It aims to provide a framework for safe working practice without stifling other aspirations. And that just doesn't sound friendly.
Do you have a suggestion?
So my suggestion is it aims, the operating agreement aims to provide a framework for cooperation, period. Or if anybody wants to add anything after that. Because I'm not sure of the meaning of what this sentence reads now. I'm not sure what that's directed to, but it just doesn't feel right.
I like cooperation.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would read, the operating agreement aims to provide a framework for cooperation, period. Unless somebody wants to add something onto the end of that.
Aims to provide a framework for. No, I think that's, I was gonna say between the two groups, but we don't need to say that. That's superfluous, really.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jean and I were not sure what safe working practice is.
Well, that caught my attention too.
Yeah.
And then I kept thinking about it and I hadn't come to that conclusion yet, but I can understand where you're coming from. So,
Yes,
So-
I do too.
I can add to that. So this came as a template from another organization. So
Okay,
I don't know what happened in the other organization, but cooperation says the same thing with far less words and sounds much better. So I
okay.
like that suggestion.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right, so that works? Okay, good.
Yes.
good point, David. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
I have a
go ahead.
under
Anita.
the COA board section at the very bottom. Do you think we need in parentheses at the end to say 60 years and older?
Where are you? On the first page?
On the first page, at the bottom of the COA section, the last bullet,
Yeah.
the COA and EHS staff agrees to only request financial assistance for Littleton senior residents, parentheses, 60 or over. Do we need to clarify that for the Friends or not?
Oh, I see where you are. You're at the top of page 2. The last bullet? Is that where you are?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, Littleton Senior Residence makes it pretty clear.
Hmm.
No?
no, because people are 50 and 55 and they're considered seniors, but the friends aren't gonna help anybody who's 50 or 55.
Oh,
That's because AARP says you can be a member at 50 because you're getting to be a senior, so I think, I agree with you, Anita. I think we should specify the 60 and over.
Unless, at some point the friends decide to include everybody. I just think that might be a sticking point for them more than it is for us. I mean, we know they're not going to, but it might. This is a document that's going to be in place for
Do
a
we
long.
want to say, sorry, Anita, do we want to say as defined for the friends in case they change their age?
Hmm.
David?
Yeah, for instance, the landfill or the dump, whatever you want to call it, if you lived here long enough. I think isn't it 60 years old to buy a senior permit? Isn't it 60? Nobody knows.
I know,
think
I don't know.
I think you're right, David.
Okay, we'll say it was 60. Does the town have an age that they generally denote as senior?
So I left it as senior because I think that's a little bit fluid. So senior to us here in the office is a little bit different depending on what program we are either using to fund it. Like if it's something funded by the Executive Office of Elder Affairs, you have to be 60 and over. But if it's something broader like Shine, which is for everyone, or like AARP, like was mentioned earlier, is 50 or 55 and over. I kind of like leaving it as senior, just so it can be a little bit fluid depending on the situation, and we might have room to negotiate assistance for somebody if they were, say, 59 and a half, but we're very clearly in need of assistance. I think maybe, like Lorelei said, we could say senior as defined by the friends, but I'd hate to put a hard number on that and then limit ourselves. But if the friends would need a hard number based on what their bylaws say about funding, but we would just comply with that unless they change their bylaws.
I like that wording. I just think something needed to be there.
I think
I'm
we should
fine.
wait. I think we should wait and see what happens when the friends see this and see what they think about it. Personally, because Littleton Senior Residence is the definition as really the COA has defined it as far as, what the age we consider to be a senior. Really. But I don't know that friends have any authority to define that even, do they? In the town? I don't know. I haven't looked into that myself.
I think the friends are their own entity and can
Do what they want?
probably define that as they see fit.
No.
This must be the part of cooperation.
Right.
You're
Right.
right.
And I'm positive I can work that specific part out with Holly.
Yeah. I think so too. That's why I think we should just leave it the way it is and see what happens when they review this too and see what their comments are. So we know
Good
it's
idea.
yeah. Okay. Other comments and thoughts to help Liz? Go ahead, David.
Yeah, all the way down at the bottom, emergent financial requests.
Yep. Page
COA
2.
staff agrees to request emergent funds from the Friends president and vice president, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What do we mean by emergent? I looked it up the other day. It means something that happens new, emerging, emergent.
Coming in.
Right. We would probably reserve something like that for some sort of emergency with a senior in town who needed oil or some situation in their home, or something that we could not cover with our own outreach funds or St. Vincent de Paul or one of the various other charities in town. And it was something time sensitive that a senior really needed assistance.
All right, so it's not emergency, it's emergent. Emergent means ongoing or something that's just happening, or but not an emergency. I don't know. I just was struck by the word because it looks like it should be emergency, but it's not. It's emergent.
Maybe I was thinking urgent.
That might be a better word.
Mhm.
Urgent.
Maybe-
Something that's urgent. I mean, an urgent need that cannot wait for, the next board meeting or something.
I like that.
I'll change it to urgent.
Urgent? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a little bit more, it clarifies it some. Okay. You got that down, Liz?
Yep.
Okay. Everybody agree to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? This is
Did
good,
we
guys.
decide if we were gonna put dollar amounts in here?
Oh. Yes, the 1,000, the outreach needs, the gift account categories, is that what you're talking about, where the money is?
Talking about, yes.
Okay. So. Are we leaving it and suggesting that it could be $1,000 each category? This is supposed to be providing funds, well, hopefully it will provide or meet the needs for a few months at a time, so that it doesn't have to be a constant request for permission to expend money. I'm correct in that, right?
No, because the balance would just stay there, what wasn't spent, so.
Right.
And Gary had talked about putting the fiscal year in
Right.
there.
That's true. That was in our minutes. It was Mark, I think, that suggested that the year be, specified.
Yes, so I think that's a good idea, so we keep track. Because if we have to renew this every year, we'll know the following year, we might have to ask for less money or more money. Who knows?
That was my question. So each one gets $1,000 per year?
No, a balance to start with, it could be renewed during the year.
So they,
If you use up the money, you can go back and ask for more. Same as your library trustee fund goes.
correct.
They fund, but we will be able to go back and ask for more money if we need it. I believe that's the way we wanted this to be, but that's what we talked about. We didn't take a vote on that, but that's what we talked about.
So how would a fiscal year figure into that? It would be signifying that's an end, and if it goes below the balance and you need more, you can't get it till the new fiscal year, or what are we doing fiscal year for?
Maybe it should be calendar year. Like for 2022, we're starting with $1,000, and if we run out, we can request more money be put in if need be, and then the following year, we just change it to calendar year 23.
Well,
I don't know, there was a discussion about that, and we never voted on anything. So
Yeah.
I'm just bringing it up to discuss it today.
I guess I don't even understand why we would put that in there. It sort of puts a limit on us, not that we would really go over the amount, but if you all of a sudden you came to some point where you couldn't ask for more till the next fiscal year, I don't understand how that would work. So I'm sort of in favor of just leaving it open. When it runs really low and you think you're going to need some more, you go to the friends and ask them to, put a new balance in there. As long as we're being diligent about spending those funds, I would think it wouldn't make any difference about having a fiscal year or a calendar year.
I think that was my intention, to leave it open because I feel like we could, as a group, make a decision here, but really this is going to be really up to the friends, and it's going to be their decision about financially what they decide to do. So I chose to leave it open, but I'm happy to do whatever the board sees fit.
Having come here just recently, I was wondering, historically, have you gone over these amounts within a year? Ever?
Nicole, do you remember in your recent history?
I don't believe so.
So it's really not probably an issue then, right? By going over.
Sounds like it would be unusual.
But isn't this MOU fairly new? So we haven't had something like this before that was written down that we would ask them for certain dollar amounts. Isn't this whole thing
Yeah.
new since I've been on?
Yeah, this is all brand new, but we do have a history
That's-
of requests and
Right.
amounts.
Right.
It's an effort to at least to eliminate the need to bring smaller requests to every month to.
That's what I thought.
Yes, to streamline it and to make things more efficient.
Yeah, that's what I
That's the
thought.
purpose. Yeah. So I don't know that it's going to be an issue either personally, but I'm not that familiar with all the details. I trust Liz and Nicole's, knowledge and working experience with them. So, and I would think it would be easy enough for them friends to work within this parameter.
And that's a
think-
good amount for Liz? Is that a good amount for you to operate under then?
Yes.
I think it makes it a lot easier if you have, this 1,000, for example, because you might have a bunch of, I need $20. Well, don't want to have to go to them all the time. That could last you a whole year, or it might only last you 3 months this year. Next year, it could last a lot longer. So I think I like the idea of having it. And then,
And it does say that the friends will receive an accounting every month of what has
Right.
been utilized so that they are aware and, the doors are open, information is flowing back and
and
forth.
then they can say, about another month's worth it will be up for needing, another request. Yeah. I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah, I think the way it's set up, it will work quite well. So
Yeah.
I'm in favor of just leaving it as it's written and just ask them for $1,000 in each one or whatever they figure, whatever you and Liz and you and the friends agree on, just, that's fine. And make your accounting each month and fill it up when it needs to be.
Yeah, that's what I think too, Dave.
Okay.
Other comments? I have one little other, it's a very small thing, but it's on the last page where you're having the signatures. It would be the chair of the board of the COA. We don't have a president. So,
Fixed.
yeah, that's an easy thing to fix. So,
That's an easy fix.
yeah. I just thought it's a little small technicality, but anyway. But yeah, and besides, this is a work in progress too. Folks, I think my attitude is let's see what happens and then we can get this out to the friends once we approve it. And, see what they have for comments, and they may not like the dollar amounts and they might want to comment on that. So,
with the changes that just were made today, the little corrections and whatnot, does it seem ready to print out and send over to the friends?
I think so.
Then I'd like to make a motion that as amended, the draft be sent to the friends, draft MOU be sent to the friends
all right, do I have a second on
for
that?
their approval. And then when they
I'll
want to make
second it.
changes. they'll
Wait a
send it
minute.
back.
Sorry. David, you made the motion. Thank you.
I
Did
did.
everybody hear it?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
Marilyn seconded that.
And I second it.
Is there any further discussion?
Do we want to put a time frame for them to respond?
But they're not meeting until September, so I think
Holly said at her meeting that they would be meeting and they would be going over things on their own if need be.
If need be. Yeah.
So if we could get this back by our September meeting, and we could go over the changes that the friends might have, and then we can pass it right on to the selectmen and just keep it moving. And if they don't get back to us until September, that's fine. But, not hold on to it for months. And you know what I mean?
I think it would be desirable to put September, they meet the first week of September. And
Right.
we certainly would not, I don't think, unless we changed our meeting, we wouldn't be meeting the first week of the month anyway. So that would work. We might not be meeting in August ourselves. So we don't know that yet. So I agree that there should be a time limit put out there. And you know what? If they can't get it done, they'll say something, I'm sure. But at least strive to get it done.
And
I
we
think
won't
we
be,
should-
if they
I
don't.
think we should put the date of their first meeting in September as when we would like it back. That way, we're not forcing them to have an earlier meeting, but we could put in like a not later than September.
We can just make a statement as their September meeting, yes. I think we don't, Anita, you wanted to say something?
No, I don't want to. That
Okay,
was the question I had.
okay. Okay, David, so do we have a little bit of a change here? Do you want that in the motion too, that the friends are requested to get back to us by our September meeting?
Well, yeah, that's kind of giving them a time frame that they have to adhere to. But why not?
Yeah, and if
Okay.
we're not going to hold them to it, but that keeps it moving,
Right. It keeps it, yeah, we keep track of it, so.
Because their meeting is the 7th of September and ours would be looks like the 11th, the 12th.
Rusty.
All right, do we have is everyone clear on the motion? The seconded motion? All right, are we ready to take a vote? Okay. Lorelei,
Yes.
Anita,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes,
Ann Lee,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
David,
Yes,
and Marge is a yes. Okay, great. That's exciting. I think that we are moving along, and we'll see what happens. They can do with it as they please, but I'm sure they'll be communicating, and it's just not official meeting, so we will get it over to them. So, thank you.
definitely.
Okay. Down to new business. Do we have any board member updates?
I have a little bit from TAC.
Okay,
They are waiting diligently for the traffic study to be completed on King Street. They're not going, they were hoping to have it by the 1st of August, the traffic study completed. That's about the major thing from them. Because that's really.
Okay.
Things that
is this
going-
regarding,
It's because it's the developer paying, it's only for the 550 King Street. It
Okay.
doesn't touch the Shattuck Street Senior Citizen Library area at all, but it's because the developer is paying for it.
okay. Thank you, Marilyn.
It might be something to keep in the back of our minds, that's all.
Oh, it would be a good information to be knowledgeable about when it does get done, so. Okay. Susan, do you have anything in particular this time?
no, just, planning board and affordable housing trust and all of those are moving along and people should keep aware of what's going on.
There's some planning board meetings this week. Couple, I believe this week, is it Thursday this week, I think? Is it?
And they also now have to post, planning board meeting for all of the Affordable Housing Trust meetings too. Those are all posted as joint meetings.
Right, I saw that because of the dual
So every
membership.
time you see there's a planning board meeting and you go to look at the agenda, it's really the Affordable Housing Trust agenda.
Rather confusing. You're right.
It looks like they have lots of meetings, but
Yeah, it does.
the
It's a little-
individuals are involved in lots of meetings.
Okay. All right.
I would just like to remind everybody tonight at 6:30 to go to the selectmen if possible, to see the presentation for Ed, from Ed Weenies. He's getting a proclamation tonight,
Deserves it.
and he certainly deserves it.
He does.
Certainly does. And I understand he's going to be there in person.
Really?
Yes,
What- Really cool, really cool.
which
That's
is
great.
very cool. So, and it will be prompt, pretty much. It's the first item on the agenda, I believe, at 6:30, so that he can not have to stay, as I understand it. So I'm looking forward to it. So, myself, I will be there.
I will too.
Good. I hope to see a few of you there. You don't have to stay. But he's been so generous to us. Very wonderful.
And then, of course, we can support Liz, who's becoming Anthony tonight.
That's right. She's wearing a new hat. Okay. Moving on to new business under B, consideration of changing the day and or time of the monthly meeting. And I sent you out a copy, or forwarded you a copy of the email, and I would like to thank Mark Rory for being so helpful and trying to help us out on as far as figuring out if there is a day and a time that works better for all of the board members. So, and I tried to explain to you, as Mark explained to me, we had to pick a day and a location on the chart that he sent that's blank, so that you won't conflict with any other meetings. So, I hope you all looked at it.
Yeah.
Yes, it was meant to be helpful so that we didn't spend hours on this topic. So, comments? Yes, Marilyn.
One of my, the first thing I thought of after I saw the COA is already listed, but my comment was if we should keep it at 3 but go to the library, because that way if Jean's working, she may be able to sneak in, or at least it's very convenient for her at 4 o'clock to join us. So that was mine.
I can't find that.
That doesn't do anything for Lorelei. That's my thought about that, so, but anyway. Other comments? Now, there are suggestions about changing it to we talked in the past, a few months back, about changing it to like 6 or 6:30 at night. So,
I don't have a problem when you do it, as long as it's not 7:30 in the morning on a Thursday, because that would conflict with my assessor meetings. But other than that, and I don't think you guys want to meet at 7:30 in the morning anyway, so.
That was the thing that I noticed about the chart, and maybe I wasn't reading it correctly or didn't understand it, but there's no times in there.
right, it is confusing, but that's what Mark's point was.
And that's what my comment was, the COA board is listed, but also the select board is listed in the same.
Because that's, Marilyn, if you read it, that's week 2.
Yeah,
Right. And I
The
know
COA
exactly,
board and the COA board and the select board have their meetings always week
On
2,
the-
the second Monday of the month,
right, that's what
In
I
room-
thought.
in room 103.
Yeah.
And the COA is one time, there's no times listed because it doesn't matter.
No.
The point is, if you try to say you decided you wanted to meet at Tuesdays in Tuesday, where the FinCom is, well, that's a conflict with FinCom then.
Yeah.
So the COA is the only board in the town that meets in the afternoon. Every other single board in town meets in the evening.
okay.
So,
If-
and, go ahead.
If it's easier for members to meet at 3, particularly Liz too, during your workday or whatever, I mean, I probably can make a 3 o'clock meeting. I'll just take my time from work to take the hour off. There might be an occasional Monday when I can't do it. And that would depend on certain staffing issues, but that might come up maybe twice a year, that situation. So, I mean, if you don't want to change it and it's good for the rest of the board, I think I can take the hour off. The town gives me good personal time. I can use it.
Well, that's very generous of you, Jean. I'm not aware of the, time. I don't know those rules, but anyway.
But would it help if we met at the library, Jean,
Um,
instead of somewhere else?
I can, that's up to you guys. Zoom or here, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter.
Well, I think the idea is we're trying to, I think, unless I'm wrong, start having in-person meetings.
Yeah.
And that means that we need to take into consideration in-person and hybrid, because it's hard for Lorelei to meet in person during the day because her husband's working. So if you want,
Hey, little kid.
Well, and you certainly could meet 3 o'clock at the library. You could do the hybrid and meet here. We've got plenty of space. I just need to know ahead of time to book it.
I don't think it matters, quite frankly. It doesn't matter to me which room we're in. And I know I've talked to Liz about the staff and the effect that changing it to early evening would have on them. And she didn't feel that it was going to be a huge problem because it's one night, it'd be once a month. So I just want to put that out there. Because I was worried about that too, Jean, the effect on the staff. But so far it's been great. And I just, Lorelei is a great board member and it's hard for her too. So we have, we changed it to 3 o'clock and I think it's been easier for her a little bit. Is that true, Lorelei? That if things are a little bit better, easier since we changed it to 3 for you? The board meeting
I
time?
was muted. It's easier with work, yes. But 3 is when school gets out. So I've typically been joining by phone and then just coming on the camera after that.
So and your son will be in first grade next year?
Yes.
So he'll be there all day? It's been many years
He's-
since my kids were in first.
And they're 3:15 is when they get out, and then she goes to
She's so cute. I've seen her in person
yeah, and she gets out at 3:30.
at 3:30.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard for you then.
To be if we are not granted the Zoom extension,
Well, we can keep the hybrid.
the
That's true.
hybrid, yeah. So
Yeah.
I've just been bringing the meeting with me. But if we aren't able to, then yeah, I would miss the first hour probably, and I'd have to bring them if that's okay.
We love kids, so I don't think that's a huge problem. I don't know, but anyway, it would be hard, I'm sure, for you. So part of the being on the board might be nice for you to get a little break from the kids too. So in a way.
So
Okay.
it sounds like 3 o'clock might be a little bit busy for you. I mean, pushing it to 4 o'clock, would that be better?
Lorelei?
Sorry, I was muted again. For in person, yes, I would still have to bring them.
Well, either way, it's gonna be difficult. 3, it would be, you gotta get them, pick them up. So you're gonna be, yeah, it'll be hard for you. So. Okay,
And we can't,
yes,
we can't do, if we were to do 4 o'clock, we can't still keep it that second Monday because then we run into the selectmen. What
They're
if
up-
what if we did it in a different place at 4 o'clock? Does that work for LCTV?
Well, that was why I mentioned the library, because
Yeah.
the
Well, you can-
library has,
If you look at the schedule,
I
you know,
did.
the
Mhm.
first Monday of the month. Monday's totally open. All the rooms are open and there's nothing going on the first Monday of the month, anytime.
But sometimes the selectmen do meet. They might have meetings 2 and 3 Mondays in a row.
I realize that.
So that,
We could try, say Wednesday then, another blank. I was just making a point.
yeah, Wednesday, as long as it's not the 2nd and the 4th, is fine with me.
So, well, if you look at this, the chart, that's my point.
I
The
did, I
chart
have the
is all
chat.
blank. Yeah, I know. It's blank. So that would be a possibility and where the location is, you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, you have a choice. The library, room 103, the fire station or the police station. I mean, I think it's easier to be down at Shattuck Street personally, either the library or 103, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I don't know about the staff, whether, you know, later, say 4 o'clock on a Wednesday would be easier or easy or workable for them. That means they're probably a little later getting home.
All right, I can't do Wednesdays. That's my 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock shift.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just threw that out there because I'm looking at the days. Obviously, we don't want a Friday, Saturday or Sunday. So I don't, I mean, the fourth Monday is open. There's no problem, nothing in there either, so. Go ahead, Susan, were you the one going?
Yeah, well, I guess the chart still has me confused, but sorry.
I know.
But if we were to keep it like the second Monday and we wanted to do it at 4 o'clock, can we do it at 4 o'clock in the library? Or do we then run into problems with the LCTV because they need to cover selectmen starting at whatever time?
Select board starts at generally 6:30.
Right. And they sometimes have, their executive sessions.
Session before that.
But
Well, executive sessions are not taped though, are they?
well, Mark starts them and then they
Oh,
go, because they have to come live to go to executive session and then
They go
Right.
back in.
right.
I mean,
It would be easier probably not to do that.
I would think if we could do it 4 o'clock in the library and keep it the second Monday. And hopefully we will be able to do hybrid to help Lorelei. If we can't do hybrid, then we're,
I was reading something yesterday about, this was from the state about the hybrid, and I don't know whether this was real or not because you never know. It made the comment about going hybrid, but a large percentage has to be at the actual meeting. But you can keep hybrid, you can have people at Zoom, but the majority had to be physically at the meeting.
Oh.
That was the thing I read. Have you seen that, Liz?
I have not. Marge, I want to just mention that Gary has his hand up.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Gary. I apologize, Gary.
No, thank you. I can comment on that piece. So, the House of Representatives actually pushed forward the legislation to have permanent hybrid meetings mandatory for all towns in the Commonwealth. So, it's getting a lot of pushback. Obviously, the 15th is when this current situation we're in is terminated. So I know that the pushback just wants the original bill, which is an extension of what's currently existing, I think until March of something next year. So I think at the very least, we're going to have a hybrid model until obviously March of next year. And there's legislation right now that is trying to make it permanent. So those are the two things. We just don't know. They have till Friday to get this done, and there's a lot of back and forth I know going on with the House and the Senate. So that's where we're kind of at with that. Now, as far as executive session, I think the earliest that we meet is at 6 p.m. for executive session. So I know you were talking about a 4 p.m. meeting. You guys typically don't run more than an hour and a half, right?
Correct.
So I think you'd have 4 to 5:30, you'd be fine regardless, but it still have, it gives a half hour buffer in there. But anyway, that's all I had.
Thank you, Gary. And let me just read you how Mark explained the chart to me, just in case so that it helps. Maybe it helps. The COA board is the only board on the schedule that meets in the afternoon. All other meetings are in the evening. The evening meetings vary on start times between 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. If you were to move to an evening meeting time, pick a day and location that is blank, so that you will not conflict with any other meetings. So 4 o'clock is not conflicting with anything from my perspective, right? According to that. So even if we could do that and see if that helps Lorelei anyway, and might help Jean a little.
Is there this is just in my brain. If we stayed the way we are, the same as we are now with a hybrid, we could all go live, except for Lorelei, but she would have access to hybrid. So if everybody else is okay with what we have now, we need to just find out from Lorelei if she's okay staying hybrid. And if she's not, then we'll look at something else. But otherwise, it seems like everybody's okay. But that's just, I don't know.
Well, she has to pick up her daughter at 3:30, right? And that's okay. She can do it if she's on the phone, right? But that's, yeah.
I'm good.
Jean, did you want to say something?
I was gonna say, don't tell me someone's on their phone when they're driving. I don't want to hear that.
Oh, no. No.
I walk.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
She lives right almost right at Shaker Lane. So anyway, she crosses the street and goes and picks up her kid. She's wonderful. So, and I don't know where your daughter is, where you're picking her up or anything, but anyway, she's not in school next year. So, right? Yeah, she's too young still. I think she's 2 years old, so. But, okay. I just want to call your attention to the fact that it's 4:13 and we really have some other business we have to get on with. So we need to come to a conclusion here as to what we want to do. We can postpone a decision, or we can keep things the way they are. We can change it to 4, or what are the wishes of the board? But we do have we have to review our rules and regs, and we have election of officers, and we have to decide whether we're going to meet in August. Then it has to be done today, so we need to move on.
All right, Lorelei, can you live with it the way it is right now for a while?
Yes.
I make a motion, we put this aside and move on to the next item.
Okay. Thank you, David. Do I have a second for that motion?
Second?
Thank you, Jean. That was you, Jean, right?
Yes.
And is there any further discussion right now about that? If not, we'll take our vote. Okay. Let's see. Lorelei.
Yes.
Okay. Anita?
Anita's muted.
Oh, Anita's muted. Okay.
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Anley?
Yes.
Thank you. Marilyn?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
David and Marge. Thank you. Okay. All right. So this probably won't take too long, but I just want to make sure we get it done because our rules and regulations say we have to get this done. So we're moving on to we are supposed to be doing an annual review of our rules and regs every year, and we did do it back last June 14th. When I was reviewing the rules and regs, though, I found that we inadvertently, I think back in June of 2021, made a mistake, or we made a correction and changed something which then affected something else. So let me explain. In the rules and regs, under item, let's see. It's Article 5 under the meetings, council meetings. Item 5.4 states, the annual meeting of the members of the council shall be the first meeting of the new fiscal year, which would be July, right? For the purpose of electing officers. But then if you look down into Article 6, it says, under 6.1.2, officers of the COA board shall be elected at the annual COA meeting by a majority vote of the members present and shall take office at the end of the June meeting. Right, so we have to fix that.
Can I make a motion?
Yes, you may. Well, we have a second thing. Do you want two changes that we need to
Oh,
make?
sorry.
You want to wait? So that's
Well,
one. The second thing that I picked up on is Lorelei I mentioned it last month. Lorelei has so graciously volunteered to do our minutes for us and be the secretary. And we removed the position of secretary from our manual. We still have the job description for that, but we need to reinsert that. So where it says in the rules and regs, the officers of the COA shall consist of a chairperson and a vice chairperson, we need to add secretary. Reinsert that.
Motion to make it so.
Okay. Maybe we should have done it one motion at a time here. So
Okay.
Okay.
it might, so hold on to that motion, David. Let me go back to Susan's motion. She made a motion to change the dates that
I make a motion that, under Article 6, number 2, 2, it says officers of the COA board, that one, shall be elected at the annual COA meeting in a majority vote of the members present and shall take office at the end of that meeting.
Of that meeting, you want it to say, okay.
And then
Okay.
that makes it the July meeting because the annual meeting is the fiscal year meeting.
Right.
You don't have to change the thing up above.
And I second that.
Okay. Do we have a second? Who sent it that? I'm sorry.
Anita?
Anita, thank you. Okay. So roll call vote. Here we go again. Lorelei.
Yes.
Okay, that's Anita,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes,
Ann Lee,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes,
David and Marge. Thank you. We're good. Okay, for that. Now,
David didn't get to say yes.
I'm sorry, David. Did I rush right by you?
That's the second time you did that, but yes, it's okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm going to give you a complex. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not watching. I'm writing down yes to make sure I have it all recorded myself here, and I probably shouldn't do that. And then I'm not paying attention.
All right, not to worry.
I apologize. Okay. So now we have the change in the secretary. That's what David's motion was, that we re-establish the position of an officer as the secretary as being an officer of the COA. And we reactivate the job description as it was when we removed it. We have a record of that, so.
Okay,
Is that okay, David?
so the motion is to add to the sentence, the officers of the COA shall consist of a chairperson, a vice chairperson, and a secretary.
And a secretary, thank you.
And to continue the motion that the definition of a secretary be inserted back into our rules and regulations.
Job description, right. Okay, thank you.
a second.
Okay, thank you, Susan. David and Susan. Okay, Lorelei,
Yes.
thank you. Anita,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes,
Ann Lee,
Yes.
Marilyn.
Yes.
Jean,
yes,
David.
Yes,
Okay, I heard you. Did I get Ann Lee? Did I say you? Yes, so now I'm getting nervous. All right, I didn't miss anybody, did I?
Just yourself.
Oh, Marge is a yes. Make it unanimous. All right. We fixed that. Thank you. Then. Okay. So now we have to go on to election of officers, which has to occur at this meeting. And this is our annual meeting. And we need to have a formal election of the chair, vice chair, and the secretary. So
I nominate Marge to become chair again for another year. I have worked with her for a full year as vice chair. She has taught me so much about the COA and the regs that I sort of knew but didn't really know. And she's been really helpful in making me understand what I don't understand. And I think she should be chairman again.
Second that.
oh. Okay.
Are we
Do we
doing
have
one at a time or all three?
What is the wish of the board?
One at a time.
Okay,
Well, if it wasn't seconded, I do, but I think it already was.
it was, Ann Lee seconded.
Well, I just meant, I agree.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't second it. Oh, why? Sorry.
Yeah, you did.
All right, David seconding it. I don't want to slight David again.
Okay.
Do we have an official motion? Did you officially make, I think you did make that a motion, Anita. So,
I did.
all right, and for the record, David seconded it. So, okay. I think we're ready for the vote. Lorelei,
Yes.
Anita,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Ann Lee,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Marge is a yes. All right, I think I got it
I
back.
would like to nominate Anita for vice president because she's done a really good job, and I just got full confidence in her as a backup to Marge. So I'm 100% in favor of that, and I make that nomination.
I second it.
Capital One MasterCard.
All right, that was Susan seconding. Okay, discussion, anyone else, any other comments? No, we're ready for a vote? Okay. Lorelei,
Yes.
Anita,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Ann Lee,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
and Marge is a yes. All right. Okay, now we're on to the secretary.
Nope. Okay, go ahead, Sue.
I nominate Lorelei for secretary. The minutes have been really great and it's an awful job.
I second it because I don't want to do it.
I was going to say, I'll second it.
Either.
None of us do it.
I think Lorelei is very talented with technology. I think she's very good, and I'll tell you,
How long do you have?
she will have the minutes to me by tomorrow. Generally, most often, it's highly unusual. She's so efficient. So it's a wonderful thing having her help us with that. So thank you. Okay. Any other comments? Any other nominations? If not, we're ready to vote. Lorelei.
Yes.
All right. Anita.
Yes, most definitely.
Susan.
Yes.
Ann Lee.
Yes.
Marilyn.
You bet. Yes.
Jean.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
And Marge is a yes. All right. I think we're done with that. Great. Okay. Now, hey, we got 6 minutes to make our goal of to 3:30 anyway. Okay, so next question. Do we want to meet in August? Is there a need? Do you want a break?
I won't be here.
Who said that?
Emily,
Ann Lee, you're going away. Wonderful.
I am.
Great. Anyone else? Any thoughts? Liz, what's your take on business, and do we have a lot going on that you think would be affected if we did not meet?
Hang on one second.
Hard to know nowadays. We could
I,
always call a special meeting. Pardon me?
I am taking that week off.
Of our meeting?
Yes, August 8th through the 12th. So I
Well, there's a good reason for us not to meet.
all right.
So, I don't know. How do you feel, everybody? We always could call a special meeting if we have to, I think. Don't you? I don't know of anything that's pressing. We got the MOU under control. We do have some things that come up that we've changed. It used to be that, I will just say this. Our annual meeting was in July. Now it's been moved, was in June. And now it's been moved to July. And we used to not meet in July. However, there are some things that are suggestions, like in the MOU, I noticed there's a suggestion that annually we establish our goals, which our rules and regs say that we need to do too. So you need to be thinking about that. We can do it in September, but we need to establish goals for the year and share them with the friends.
Excuse me, I have to leave.
Okay,
Sorry, I have to leave, but I'm okay with adjourning and no meeting in August.
okay. But
Okay.
anyway, so I'm just saying, we can not meet in August, but we do have work that we're gonna have to do in September when we come back, so. That's all.
I make a motion that we skip the August meeting and meet in September.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
it. Marilyn, okay. Any more, any further discussion about that? No, if hearing none, here we go again. Lorelei,
Yes.
okay. Anita, oh, but she's gone. Susan,
Yes.
Ann Lee,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
let's see, Jean,
Yes.
and David,
Yes.
and Marge is a yes. Okay, that's a unanimous vote. Okie dokie, great. Hey, I think we're done. Is there any other business that we need to discuss that anybody has or is aware of? No? If not, I will entertain one more motion. But before I do, I'd like to just say to everybody, have a great rest of the summer. It's really kind of just started with July 4th, but we all know that it will fly. The next month, 2 months they'll fly by. So enjoy and stay well.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Entertain, let's see, who did that? Who was the second? Susan?
Yeah.
David and Sue. Okay. Lorelei.
Yes.
Last time I promised. Anita. Oh, she's gone. She's gone. I know she's gone. Susan.
Yes. We've done
All
a
right.
lot of voting today.
I know. Ann Lee.
Yes.
Marilyn.
Yes.
Jean.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
And Marge is a yes. All right. That's unanimous. Hey, everybody, have a great 2 months.
Happy summer scene, September.
Happy summer.